Antony, how would you describe your management and leadership style, and did you need to change the way that you worked during your time at Mid-Staffs?
My management and leadership style is very visible, very value-driven, very blunt and sometimes rude. In fact, I think I'm almost on an autistic spectrum and sometimes described as a sort of management version of Tourette syndrome.
And did you need to change that, or did you
find
find that?
I find it difficult to change it, to be honest.
In an organisation like Mid-Staffs that showed such a wide range of failings, can it be turned around?
I think it's difficult in certain circumstances, and the issue for me is where you've got terminal failure, and if you look at the history of Mid-Staffs, it's been failing for many, many years, and then it gets a little injection of cash or a new team, and it goes back a bit and it's a bit better, and then it fails again. And I think within that there's a history really that actually it's never going to be a great hospital.
What do you think needs to be done?
Well, I think it needs a fundamental sort of root and branch upheaval, close part of it, and start again and rebuild the teams and make sure it works properly.
In those circumstances, is it faster than incremental change?
Yes, an incremental change for patients is too slow.
What lessons did you learn as an interim chief executive that you think would be of relevance to leaders going into other similar challenged organisations?
Focus on the patients quickly and get to see them and talk to them, and find the radical mirror out there, really, people that will actually tell you what it's really like. And Cure the NHS were perfect at that.
Yes.
However great we thought we were doing, they'd be blunt in their opinion of how they thought we were doing. I think that was really good.
You talked in your presentation about one of the things you learned was about getting rid of people. Can you tell us a bit about what you meant?
Yeah, I think, people are involved in the failure initially, and, the whole team, I think, in Mid-Staffs are culpable, never mind just the chief exec and chair. I think there's an argument to say, well, you all go and let's bring a whole team in. The second thing is there are people within the organisation that clearly bear some of the culture that belong to it, the club culture or the bullying culture. I think, finding them out and getting rid of them quicker is important. And I think the third part of that is just getting the regulators to see it as being a bit more important and acting a bit more urgently about it. The amount of time we've waited for the GMC or the NMC to help support decisions we've made is just unbelievable and costly.
Okay. Talking about culture, it's one of those things that can be easily blamed but very difficult to change. From your experience, were there things that you found worked in helping to shift the organisation and things that definitely did not?
The biggest difference I think we made is putting new people in charge of the wards, and then having a very different view of their job, and that worked tremendously well. I think the whole issue around visibility worked. I think particularly in Mid-Staffs, I wouldn't suggest this everywhere, is this notion of zero tolerance. Not allowing any slip up in terms of standards and so on is really important. And people might say that's a bit of a blame culture, but at the end of the day we do pay people to do the job.
And you've got to lead by example.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Antony, thank you very much for sharing your experiences with us today.
Fantastic.